CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Some tense moments in the streets of Langford early this morning after two young men were spotted walking down the road carrying a sword and a machine gun. The two teens were spotted around 1 a.m. on Goldstream Avenue walking toward Veterans Memorial Parkway. West Shore RCMP say when they located the 17-year-old and 18-year-old, the weapons they were carrying weren't as dangerous as police expected. They were fake. The sword was a practice blunt sword and the machine gun was a paintball gun. Officers say replica weapons are no laughing matter.
Police do not have the luxury to determine what is and what isn't a toy. These kind of calls are taken very seriously. Police have to take consideration for the general public, for their own safety, and so they exercise extreme caution in dealing with any kind of weapon complaint. In this instance, it ended peacefully. The males were compliant, and they were spoken to and understood the gravity of the situation.
Police say the fake weapons were returned and they're not recommending charges. West Shore Mounties are urging drivers to slow down after catching two motorcyclists traveling at more than double the speed limit. One speed demon was pulled over on Machosen Road in Colwood last night, traveling 81 kilometers per hour over the posted speed limit with a passenger. The rider was going 131 kilometers per hour in a 50 zone. And just hours later, another motorcyclist was stopped on the Island Highway in View Royal going nearly 100 kilometers an hour in a 50 zone. Police say speed is the #1 factor in most accidents.
Speed kills. That's been drummed into us from ICBC television ads for years now. It's not rocket scientist. Speed kills. There's less reaction time for the drivers, or the riders of the motorcycle. Their passengers are defenseless. The motoring public doesn't have time to respond. Critical injuries occur, obviously, with speed more often than not. They put themselves and they put the motoring public in severe jeopardy, particularly when excessive speeds are reached.
RCMP say one of the drivers only had a learner's license with restrictions prohibiting passengers and prohibiting the driver from reaching speeds over 60 kilometers per hour. Both motorcycles were impounded for 7 days and the drivers face hefty fines. When complete, Capital City Centre in Colwood is expected to be the largest development on Vancouver Island and home to the island's largest towers. Today, the presentation centre for the massive project was unveiled.
Over the next 15 minutes.
League, the developer, says the first phase of Capital City Centre will take 5 years to complete, with an estimated investment of more than $250 million. The presentation centre features a model of the first 27-story residential tower. League says it's also offering an equity mortgage designed to help new homeowners, new home buyers get into the market. The city says the project is a welcome addition to Colwood Corners.
This is huge. This is really exciting for Colwood. This starts to implement some of the vision that we have in our official community plan. We wanted a dense, mixed-use commercial development area on this site, and these guys have brought it to us in spades. We're really happy to see the project moving forward.
The developer says the complete build-out of the 14-acre site will take 15 to 20 years. The first condos go on sale in September, with occupancy slated for early 2015. The Green Party leader of Canada and Saanich Gulf Islands MP is welcoming delegates to her neck of the woods to talk politics. Elizabeth May will also have First Nations leaders and mayors in her riding as the Green Party's national convention kicks off in Sydney. The delegates will be gathering to take part in policy workshops and work on their Green Vision platform. May says volunteers who she has worked with will be dishing out secrets on how to win an election.
Now, where would you want to go if you were Green anywhere else in Canada to get trainings on how to win an election other than Saanich Gulf Islands, where we have, over 1,000 volunteers who helped make that happen. So the volunteers who did so much here locally in the campaign are going to be running training sessions for what we did canvassing, our little seed packets at the door, those kinds of things, sharing some good ideas and see if other candidates in other ridings want to try doing some of what we did.
May says tomorrow night the party will be discussing how it can encourage more people to come out and vote at the polls. Welcome back. Let the races begin. Hundreds of people are piling into Victoria's Inner Harbour as the Capital Region gets ready for a little friendly competition. The Canada Dry Victoria Dragon Boat Festival kicked off today with a traditional eye-dotting ceremony at Ship Point. The three-day event will draw in 80,000 spectators as 80 dragon boat teams from across North America get ready to compete in a 500-meter course. Organizers say this year will be the first time spectators can watch all men teams compete.
Some exciting races. This year we've added something new. Usually we've got the mixed teams, we've got the women's teams. This year we're also going to have an open division, and they're going to be racing Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. And that's going to allow teams to field an all-male team if they choose. So those are going to be some of the fastest races that you're going to see across the course.
Free entertainment and events will also be taking place in the Inner Harbour. All proceeds raised at the Dragon Boat Festival go to the BC Cancer Foundation. Last year, more than $100,000 was raised through donations and pledges. If you're looking for a chuckle this weekend, you're in luck. The Blue Bridge Comedy Festival is in full swing, promising the island's funniest weekend.
Sorry for the unscheduled delay, but we're not going to be taking off until the co-pilot takes back what he said about me.
The gala event is tonight at the Esquimalt Sports Centre, hosted by Canadian funny man Brent Butt. It starts at 8. Tickets are $50. Comedian Nikki Payne, who has appeared on shows like Comedy Now, Just for Laughs, and Last Comic Standing, is one of many talented acts appearing at the gala.
And then after that, it's the dark and dirty show. And that's where people generally find out that I'm actually not that dirty of a comic, in comparison to the other comedians. But yeah, so there's a little bit of everything.
If you'd like to catch Nikki's dark and dirty show, she's performing at Heckler's tonight at 11. And she'll be at Heckler's again tomorrow night at 8 for her main show. For more information, go to bluebridgecomedyfestival.com. 72 days and more than 7,500 kilometers after his cross-country journey began, a young Victoria man and his bicycle are back at mile zero tonight. Sean Jacklin was all smiles this afternoon as his Cycle of Life tour came to an end. Jacklin left mile zero in June on a mission to raise money and awareness for Victoria Hospice. The ride became very personal for Jacklin when he was called home late last month.
My grandfather, I right in the middle of the ride in Toronto, flew home, and he had 2 or 3 days to live, and he spent them in the Campbell River Hospice, and we got to see him off in the best way possible. And I mean, for that to happen during my, this is what I'm raising money for, and this is the cause, it's unreal.
So far, Jacklin has raised $21,000 for Victoria Hospice, a foundation that provides end-of-life care for people in the community with a focus on palliative treatment. 50% of the funding for the hospice is raised through fundraisers such as the Cycle of Life Tour. If you'd like to donate, go to cycleoflifetour.ca.